Good morning, it's Jonathan Barratt with the morning debrief. It's 7:36, it's the 3rd of November, and the Dow was up last night, which was quite good, so quite positive. Obviously the key elements we're looking at the moment is obviously the effect of the interest rate movement in Australia yesterday, up by 0.25%, Melbourne Cup Day, quite interesting. Also, let's see what sort of backlash we get out of the Commonwealth Bank in terms of raising their interest rates up already. You start to think of all the profits they're doing, and the guarantee they've got from the government and from the taxpayers last year. You've got to, throughout the GFC, you've got to really question, really are they hurting? I heard tell that Mike Smith from the ANZ was earning close to $50,000 a day. You do the maths on that, that's an awful lot of money in anyone's language, and is it warranted considering that all the guarantee they got was in fact purely back from the government or the taxpayers, so quite interesting. Okay, as I mentioned, the Dow was strong. We're all waiting for QE2. The size of it is going to be important. FOMC rate decision as well. So the market is looking for a lead. At the moment, the dollar has been relatively weak, waiting for what the Fed has to say about the quantitative easing and the size of it. So we're all on a knife's edge. That'll happen tonight, and that could be quite interesting. My view is that things are moving along. They don't want to give it too much of a boost of inflation, so the package will not be as large. That should give a little bit of respite in terms of the pricing that we've got at the moment in some commodities, and as a result of that, perhaps a little bit more of a slowdown. Let's put it this way, the line of least resistance is for some of these commodities to go lower rather than higher, so let's see what happens from that front. Okay, let's just have a quick look at how the Dow closed. The Dow closed up 64 points, 11,118. The S&P was up 9, the Nasdaq was up 28. Over in Europe, the top 50 was up 24. The FTSE was up 62 and the CAC was up 24. The DAC was up 49. Close to home, we're 4,701 on Tricom. So it's going to be very interesting in my side to actually see how the market will react once we're all there to the interest rate movement yesterday. So I'm going to be quite keen to keep an eye on that market. Effectively, it shouldn't go up, but at the end of the day, let's just see how it unfolds. Maybe the market just might, just discount it. Okay, so that's on that front. Let's have a look now at a few things, as we normally do. Let's have a look at the dollar index before we get into some of those reports. Dollar index in itself, 76.89. Now that's obviously down from 77.50. As you can see here, it's marking time. Now this sort of movement is interesting because technically it's a breach consolidation. So this is more of a consolidation pattern. I can draw a few lines in there and you can get a bit of an idea as to what I'm perhaps looking at or alluding to. There's that there. That's okay. Oops, I don't have there, but anyway. And if you wanted to, you can just draw a line through there as well. So when you look at it, that's perhaps consolidation before an ultimate move to the top side. We have it in our views that we feel that given where the market is and indicators that the dollar should be strengthening. We still are of that opinion, even though it's not happening directly. So as you can see, a bit of consolidation there. Let's see what happens tonight. It's going to be quite important to watch. Okay, so that's dollar index. Let's have a look at crude. Naturally, crude's trading higher, 84.36, top side of the band. As you can see, look, I'm sort of the opinion it should go lower, but be mindful of this movement here. We're just sort of trying to break out to the top side and pushing higher. Now, I guess the crude is undervalued in terms of the movement in the US dollar. That's something we have noted. So, whilst the dollar's been weakening, crude's been stable. So that to me is important. So there could be that potential, for an uptick, and I think in anything there, that's something which we follow through on. But just keep an eye on that, and let's see what transpires. Okay, so that's the crude. Obviously, copper up again. Just playing up that top end of the range. Not too sure. I actually still feel it's a little bit overcooked, given that we're coming into winter, but let's see. Looking at gold, 13.56, just marking time there. Once again, it's all going to be up to what happens tonight. Looking at the local market, 47.11. There it is, just tracking sideways and has been, since September and beginning of September. So not a lot to go on. This sort of formation is normally a bullish formation. Excuse me. And as a bullish formation, we've got to see that break through 47.20. If we see that break, then 4,800 is the next. But we've really got to see it happen. And given that rate increase, it's going to be quite interesting actually to watch. The local dollar, the Aussie 99.92. There we are at the top side of the band, looking ready for a breakout on the top. I don't know, a little bit on or that one, but let's see how that unfolds. Having a look at the indicators now. And what data do we have coming out today? Building approvals in Australia, which will be widely watched. A lot of PMI data, PMI particularly out of Europe. And in the States, we've got obviously the most important thing there is Fed Open Market Committee meets on interest rates. So that's where we're expecting the size of QE2 to come out. Also, FOMC rate decision unchanged is what the market's going for. Factory orders, domestic sales, so there's quite a bit to get into in terms of a bit of direction. But obviously, I think the key today is keeping an eye on what the Fed has to say, how they're looking to do it, and how much they're going to do it, and that's certainly going to, in my mind, determine where a lot of these prices will in fact go. So let's see how it goes. It could be quite interesting, lots of data, and let's just have a look. Anyway, happy trading, and we'll talk to you later.